Hello everyone. Today in this tutorial, we are going to talk about generics in Java. Although there are already many tutorials on generics in Java, I personally found them a bit confusing when I was learning. That's why I'm making this video to explain generics in a very simple and beginner friendly way with clear examples. So let's get started. The first word are generics. Generics allow us to write reusable and flexible code that works with different data types while staying type safe. Think of them as a way to create a single class or method that can work with integers, strings, or any other type without duplicating code. Right? Let's understand it with the help of examples. I open Visual Studio Code, click on View Command Palette, Java, create Java project. Click on Now Build Tools. It asks the location where we want to save our project. I keep in my Java projects folder. Give the name like I gave generic demo, press enter, and it will create a basic Java project for you. Suppose we create a simple class that can store something. Right click, new file. I give it name like box.java. Here I am using object to store anything. This class can store anything. But the problem is when we call get, we only get an object. That means we have to cast it back to the original type. Let me show you. I create object of that class here. I store hello world in this object. But when I call its get method, I will cast it into a string, right? But if we accidentally store an integer and try to cast it into a string, we can get a class cast exception at runtime. So that's where generics help us. For example, if I store integer and when I get it, now I get that value back and cast it in string again and I run it. And you see we are getting class cast exception. Let's improve our box class with generics. So with box, I write something like angle bracket t. I replace object with t. Here angle bracket t is a type parameter. You can think of it as a placeholder for the actual type, right? Now here t means the class is generic. We usually use the letter T which stands for type, but remember it doesn't have to be T. You could use any name you like, T, K, or even my type. But by convention, though Java developers mostly use T for type. Now I go back to my app.java and write code something like this. I create object of generic box class. I store a string value and when I need that value, I get it like this. You see, no casting required. Now, similarly, we can use this box generic class with integers. Here in angle bracket, we are providing type integer. I store integer value and then I get it back. See, no casting required. Now, let's see how can we create a generic method. So, I go back to my box class. Inside this, I define a generic method like public static. Then I provide generic t, a print array. We take any array as a parameter and then print all the elements of that array. Now this method can print any array of strings, integer or even doubles, right? It has become a generic method. Let's see how can we use it. As it is static method, I call it with class name. First I create an array of string array and then another array, integer array. Now let's first print our first string array. I call print array method of box class and similarly for integer array I call same method. So let me run this code and we get this output. So same generic method print array works for any type, whether it is integer array or it is string array. So to summarize what we learned today, generic let us write reusable and type safe code. They prevent unnecessary type casting. We can also create our own generic classes, methods, and even use boundary types. So that's all for today. That was basic introduction of generics in Java. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coding tutorials. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.